Every week we share a story with you from the reporting staff at the Maine-Monitor, and today we're talking with Daniel O'Connor. He's a rural government reporter for both the Maine-Monitor and the Bangor Daily News. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So we're talking a little bit about AI, artificial intelligence today, and its relationship to what's going on in some police departments. Right here in Maine, the Wilton Police Department is tapping into the use of AI for some of its police reports being generated. And it sounds like it's greatly reducing the amount of time being spent to create these reports. So walk us through the process for these.
Yeah, so Wilton police departments, like most police departments, have body cameras when they're out in the field. But now that they have this AI from this company called Code 4, when they return from the field, they can upload the video and the audio from the camera into the system that then generates a draft of a police report based on what it saw and heard. So then from there, they have to go in and edit and make sure that everything in there is, correct, and then they submit their report.
So it's pulling the data from the body cams.
Yes.
That's where it's generating this. So you use the word draft, which stood out to me, which I imagine is a big component of the conversation around the use of AI. To that point, when we talk about lawyers and defendants who may be on the other side of these body cameras, where's the reliance and the trust that the information is correct or accurate?
So, of course, AI is never 100% right. So the CEO of this company, who's a 19-year-old named George Chang, he told me that the liability stays with the officers because ultimately it's their responsibility to edit the report to make sure everything is correct and then to sign off. So that's meant to, keep trust in the reports. The company also has sort of a quirky way of making sure that editing happens. They actually insert errors into every draft report. And if an officer doesn't remove it, then they cannot submit the final report. So theoretically, that's supposed to help them, make sure that these are being edited properly. But the question still remains, what happens if an error other than that makes its way into the final draft and ends up in court? And that's a question we don't really have an answer to.
I'm very intrigued about the inserted error, because that's the first I've heard about that happening to do the kind of the guarantee second stop, that it's at least being reviewed. So interesting that, and again, a 19-year-old CEO put this into this technology. What are you hearing in your conversations locally, officials in town, about the use of this technology?
So it's complicated. Wilton PD, their police chief, has said that it saved them time and helped them dig out from under some backlog. There are some questions, however, more broadly about whether or not this actually systematically saves time. Potentially the editing process could be slower than just writing a police report if it's pretty basic. So some experts have raised concerns about that. But so far in Wilton, I've heard no complaints from the police department. However, the district attorney up there, DA Neil McLean, he has sort of pumped the brakes on this a little bit. I reached out to him to ask about this, and he's a prosecutor, so he would potentially be working with these police reports.
Right.
And he had not been aware of Code 4, this company, and he was not aware that Wilton was using this technology and suggested that maybe this shouldn't be used just yet while they figure out how courts will take this type of technology.
That's a huge part of the conversation then.
Yes.
People then have to implement it.
Yes, some tricky conversations ahead, I'm sure, but we'll see how that goes.
Daniel O'Connor, thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to see the full reporting that he's done, a lot of voices in this conversation, especially around AI, you can see that right now at the Maine-Monitor and the Bangor Daily News.